Hi, I'm Supernova, or you can call me Soup, or Nova, or really whatever. Of course, I always say this. But I'm gonna talk about how it feels to be an adult because I had no idea what it would feel like, and I was scared, honestly. I was not excited for adulthood when I was like teenage, just in general. I was like, I also worried about getting kicked out of the house right when I turned 18, which did not happen, which I'm glad for, but I think that's also because of things that have happened like with 2020 and stuff. So, yeah, that I'm glad I'm not kicked out of the house. I'm still figuring stuff out. I will say you don't get it all figured out. But I have a list of struggles and like good things I've noticed since I've become an adult, which I'm getting close to having become an adult for 2 whole years. My birthday is December 21st, so just under a month from now. So I figured now is probably a pretty good time to tell you just how it feels so far, what it's like. Okay, so the struggles are first, but hang in there. Okay, so the first struggle, taxes. Okay, some people that aren't adults still do taxes because they have jobs and stuff. I did not get a job until I was 18, which I kind of regret, but I just was not feeling ready for it. I probably could have gotten a job if I needed to, but thankfully I didn't need to. But taxes, oh, they are so you get worried about inputting something wrong because like they're paperwork but to the government, and so they're legal, and also like if you get them wrong you could get in trouble with the law, right? I don't know exactly how all that works, but turns out they're pretty simple, but it's still like I feel so worried. I felt so worried the first time I was doing taxes, and I had to have someone by my side the whole time to say like, is this right? And just double check with them. And that was a little bit stressful, but it wasn't as bad as I thought. So there's at least that. And then the other thing, paperwork. There's a lot of paperwork you need to do when you're an adult. You, for one, like job paperwork, anything, you sign it, and it's your responsibility now. You're signing away your rights on something. And that's a lot of responsibility. And like again, people that get jobs when they're 16, they probably have to sign on some of this as well. Probably their parents as well. I don't remember exactly. I mean, I didn't get a job before 18, so I wouldn't know from that. But yeah, it's complicated. Yeah. There's more expected of you. You need to take on more responsibilities. In some households, they may start charging you rent. Thankfully, mine has not yet, but I am expected to have like a job or college at some point. Like, if I don't, then I need to help out more around the house, like with upkeep and stuff, which I still do, but I do it more in a relaxed way, I guess. But that kind of leads into job or college or both that you're normally expected to have. And if you don't have one of those, or both of those, I mean, if you don't have either of those, then you're kind of on thin ice. And they say you need to get one. You need to get a job or go to college. But thankfully I haven't had too much trouble with that so far. Yeah. Insurance. I still don't know how all of that works, to be honest. But you need to worry about health insurance, medical insurance, dental insurance, car insurance if you have a car. Just so many different types of insurance. I don't know much about them, and turns out you need those paperwork. You need those insurance for like getting licenses as well, which I didn't really know before. And that makes things just complicated. Everything's complicated. Everything's paperwork in adulthood. I hate to say it. But then like, you have to also, you're more autonomous in unfamiliar situations, like say you go to a car dealership or just something like that. You may not have like your parents going with you anymore, or just someone that's done that type of stuff before, so you have to do it yourself, which I'm glad most places are pretty friendly, pretty beginner friendly with that, but it's still super intimidating because, again, this is legal, this is paperwork, that type of stuff, and that's kind of scary. And sometimes, like with getting a car, you're not familiar with all the different things you need to check. So you need to check with your parents maybe about the price or something. I don't know. I haven't gotten a car yet. But yeah, that's confusing. And I'm glad that we can still, like, some people don't have the best relationships with their parents. So I guess in those cases they maybe couldn't turn to their parents about that. But there is still an option to turn to parents or sometimes older siblings. I'm glad I have 3 of those. But yeah, I'm glad, I'm blessed, honestly. Okay, let's see. Good things? You get freedom. You're free to choose what you do with your time. Because, like, you're not just constantly working on schoolwork and homework unless you're in college. But I mean, then you still do it on your own time. I know for me, like, I was homeschooled, so a lot of my day was normally pretty, somewhat controlled by my parents. Like, they had a schedule for me, just like school has a schedule for you. You had to do certain things at certain times, have certain things done. But I did have some freedom then. But now, like, I have so much more freedom. And even when I was doing a year of college work, when I was still in high school, dual enrollment, I also had a lot more freedom about when I would do my schoolwork, where I would do it. And that was nice. And that meant I was actually doing it. Like, it was my choice to do it, which I think that's one of the really nice things about being an adult. People don't, like, say as often, like, you need to do this at a certain time by a certain time, because that can get pretty stressful. And you get more autonomy generally. That kind of ties into having more freedom. Yeah, more autonomy can be a good thing and a bad thing, but you're allowed to make decisions for yourself, think for yourself. Unless in some households they do still kind of tend to control some of that, so it might only start for you after you move out, for example. But I mean, I will say sometimes it feels like my parents still try to influence my decisions, which I understand it is a good thing, but sometimes it feels like too much pressure, you know? But I'm finally beginning to realize that I don't need to necessarily listen to them on certain topics. It's good to, like, listen to them because generally they have more experience, but also you're your own person. You're growing up at a different time, and you need to look at things for yourself because that's important anyways for anyone. And you can date. If you weren't allowed to date before being an adult, you can date. And you can marry. Not that I have anyone I'm thinking about dating or marrying yet, but that's out there. You can make decisions for who's gonna be your lifelong partner. I mean, I am not ready for that yet, so I'm holding off on any of that, but I mean, it's there. Okay, I also have weird and funny things that have happened since I've become an adult. One I didn't really expect. I've started to become pretty obsessed with cleaning. I don't know if that, like, comes with everyone that becomes an adult, but it's been in my case. Like, I think it started as, like, I was saying, okay, I need to clean, and I just had a random burst of motivation to clean my room, and I cleaned it for, like, over an hour straight. I didn't know I could do that, really. I mean, I've done stuff like that before, but this, I felt super motivated. And then it's kind of come into the thing where it started to be a lot more, frequently that I've wanted to clean, or like just generally felt good cleaning. I don't necessarily always feel the impulse to clean, but I do notice when things probably need to be cleaned up. Like, I will say my desk. My desk right now does need to be cleaned up, but, just you begin to enjoy cleaning your space rather than just being told to, at least in my case, which I like. I don't know if that's normal. I guess that's the only one I had there, but overall, my thoughts on becoming an adult. This is my adult review. My review about being an adult, if you should buy. But, I haven't done all the things that an adult is expected to yet. But I mean, that's completely fine. You're not a failure of an adult if you don't do all those things right off the bat. I don't have my driver's license yet. I'm working on that. I don't have a car. I don't have, like, a house or an apartment or anything. I am starting to get more money, but I'm still saving up. And I haven't gone to college. I've only done 1 year of dual enrollment. I'm not going to college, even when everyone else is. And I've never dated. And I don't have any prospects right now. And that is completely fine. Listen, I'm almost 20, but that doesn't mean I'm a seasoned adult, but that's completely fine. Everyone grows into their responsibilities at a different pace. It takes time, but it's truly not as bad as I expected. I mean, the paperwork is still crazy, and I recognize that others do have to be more autonomous than me at my age, and I'm extremely blessed to be able to take my time and grow into it when I'm ready. I will admit, I'm in a pretty well-to-do household in that I have 4 siblings, but we're not super tight on money. But other families, they need to start working at 16 or whatever. They need to help support the family. Thankfully, I don't, and I have a lot more freedom with growing into becoming an adult through that. It's just, I think I have a different sort of stress put on me, but it's not as serious because people's livelihoods aren't at risk. I mean, becoming an adult, you also do have to start thinking about your future, so your livelihood is probably at risk based on what you do, but there's a lot more leeway. And your parents, depending on your relationship with them, they're here for you. And if you need someone to lean on at a difficult spot, financially, emotionally, physically, they're there. And I'm glad that I have such a supportive family in that, and I have siblings that I'm really close with and everything. And I'm glad I have that. I know not everyone has that sort of thing, but if it's there for you, I guess be grateful. Okay, I think that's all I have. I wrote down notes for this one, but I hope this resonated with you. Maybe it calmed you if you're gonna become an adult soon, or if you're already an adult and you're struggling. Because I've always struggled with being an adult, but honestly, I've grown into it. I mean, I'm not like, oh, I'm an imposter adult anymore. I'm not thinking, oh, I don't feel like an adult. Oh, I don't feel like I'm turning 20. No, I feel like I have grown into this. And I've done things that I wouldn't have done before I was 18. Whether it was I couldn't do them, or I just felt like I couldn't. To be honest, I don't walk outside that much, and part of it is because I'm always like, I can't do this. I need to be safe, have someone with me, which I'm an adult now. I can take care of that. But I mean, it's still kind of scary based on the way I grew up and the conceptions I began to have, the misconceptions. But I'm slowly growing into it, and I know you can too if you're beginning to become an adult, if you're struggling, anything. You got this, and it's gonna be okay. I was scared, and look how I've turned out so far. Maybe not the most adult yet, but that's fine. So, yeah, I think that's all I'm gonna say. So, bye.